Good evening, dear friends. Today on Deep Talks, we are having a bubbly and nice and wonderful soul. I would say this is season 2 for her. She's one of my favorites and she considers me very dear friend of hers. I'm so glad that I'm having Nistha Srivastava after winning accolades and winning some pageants. She is almost a very terrific soul who have encountered a beautiful soul like me, and I'm having the privilege to host her in the season 2 of Deep Talks. It cannot be much more interesting but to see Srishti introducing Nishtha Srivastava for us, and it'll be an honor for me to host her again. So welcome on board Deep Talks, Nishtha and Srishti.
Thank you so much, Gurleen. I can't tell you, I'm so happy to see you today.
Wonderful. It's exciting and it's enough an honor for me to just see that this Deep Talks has gone a long way where people are requesting me that they would love to come in the season 2, and it's become a bubble sort of a thing, a dream come into reality that after coming to my show, many people have won accolades, and this makes this show even more positive and progressive. All
Absolutely.
over to Nishtha and all over to Srishti. Srishti, you can start the introduction. And I'm so glad that you are looking stunning, Srishti. And thanks a lot for being there as a communication connect on this show. So let's have Srishti and a round of applause for her because she's hosting this from Shimla. And I'm so honored that this young lady has taken the privilege to conquer her fear, to come on the camera and be on Deep Talks. So let's have it for her, Srishti. All over to you.
Good evening and welcome everyone. It is my honor to introduce to you our guest for tonight, Ms. Nishtha Srivastava. A young, passionate, laborious, and courageous lady, Nishtha is known for living all at once. An offbeat author who has won various prestigious awards, a public speaker, a pageant enthusiast with numerous titles, Nishtha believes in weaving the world with her own threads and consistently walks on the path to break the stereotypes with a positive aura. I would now like to request Gurleen ma'am to host ma'am, and I shall take a leave to be back in monitoring the conversation as a communication connect.
Thanks a lot, Srishti, for introducing Nishtha to us. She's a bundle of joy, as is her smile. Welcome, Nishtha, once again. It's an honor to have you and have this beautiful smile on Deep Talks. Nothing can give me more happiness but to have you on this show because it seems like a friend in conversation with another great friend. So, how has this journey
Absolutely.
been since season 1, and what is the difference that you must have seen over the episodes that Deep Talks has grown and effectively impacted many souls? So, what is your take on coming in the season 1 and coming in the season 2 as a viewer who has been watching and getting inspired from many other souls, not only me?
So, Gurleen, first of all, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for actually coming to my life. I would say this, not just to the show, because I really learn a lot from you every day. Every time I see a post from you, or I come on to any show of Deep Talks with any conversation you are into, I really feel inspired because you pick people who are really making a difference in the society, and you talk about things which usually people don't talk. I remember the last season when I came here and we were talking. I can see a complete transformation in myself. I have gathered a lot many things, gathered a lot of confidence, and the best thing about which keeps me really connected with you is that you are one of those person who has, if holded anybody's hand, will never leave her. And you are always there, walking along, walking aside. And at times when I feel low and I post something, and you are out of those rare people who is always there to give that sparkle, give that sprinkle. So thank you so much on
True.
behalf of everybody whom you help a lot. Thank you, Gurleen.
Nishta, it has been a wonderful, terrific experience holding you. So, besides that, there are beautiful souls who've joined us and joined you. Lakshmi Venkat has said beautiful. Krishnan has said hello. Terence has said wow. Arasu has said good evening, ma'am. A very good evening. Terence has said greetings to both of us. And Arasu has said well said. So, these are the souls who make this episode even more vibrant. And I must say,
Right.
we are in conversation with Miss Asia Singapore finalist Nishta Srivastava. She has done proud for our country, and I'm so sure that she's going to win the crown. Besides that, she is an enthusiastic writer, passionate author, and what more can I say about this lady? But I would love to ask you, Nishta, one question that I believe is very important to me and significant to those girls and ladies who are from small towns and they've never ever thought of achieving such a great honor of walking the ramp. So, can you let us know how was your first experience and what made you actually take this concept of going on the ramp and making it big?
Thank you so much for this question, Gurleen. So, one thing that I would like to tell you, as you said, small town girls who are far away from these lights, I was one of them. Truly, I was one of them. And in my dreams also, I could have never imagined that I would walk on a ramp. To be true, this was beyond my imagination. I never thought so. But then, Gurleen, girls like you, me, girls around us who have this spark of doing something that is, breaking the stereotypes, will talk something different, have this energy
True.
within themselves. And the best thing that you also always say that if our parents are there beside us, we can move mountains. So I still
True.
remember after my novel that came last year, that was Raksha Bandhan, which I say is the pillar of my life now. I gathered a lot of confidence because I wrote something which was offbeat, which was not conversed usually. And after
Yes.
that, I found people, beautiful souls who understood the story, who understood that I have gathered that courage to talk about it. And gradually, I
True.
met a lot of people who made me realize that even if you are not in the spotlight always, even if you are not from an elite background, if you are
True.
laborious enough, if you have passion, if you have courage, even if you are not that glamorous and hot, if you have that
Yeah.
strength within you, you can do
True.
anything. So, the
True. Very
first time
wonderfully
I was
stated.
right. The first time I was asked, I got this opportunity to give the online auditions. And then when I went for the offline auditions as well, Gurleen, I didn't knew how to wear 6 inches of heel, to be very true. And my legs were shivering. My legs were shivering while I was walking on the ramp. But then, when I took the first step and when I realized that what way I have traveled all around to come on this ramp, and what gives me
Yes.
this confidence to represent myself the way I am is going to rock. And trust me, when I was walking right, I was not trained.
True.
I've never taken any training, but I was damn confident. And when I reached that T point now, one of the people there, one of my grooming person told me that, it seems like you have done it many times. So I think the confidence inside us makes us walk. So that is how I took
True.
my first walk.
True. That walk has to be memorable, and for times to come, I'm sure, Nishtha, you're going to impact many more ladies who are sitting in the small hometowns and thinking that they cannot walk the ramp because the first initiative for a girl to start seeing the new world is by conversing, by meeting new people,
Right,
and taking
right.
the stand to ask for your own rights and for your own psychological freedom. And totally
Absolutely.
dependent on that, did I start this deep talks, never knowing it is going to walk many souls' experiences on this show, including you. You are the first guest who has appeared the second time, and I would say this is the season wherein I am feeling exuberant to even state that there are people across the globe who are wanting to come on the show, and I'm not having my schedule available for them. So, on Deep Talks, I'm so very honored that these souls are reaching out to me. And with the love of all, this Deep Talks is never going to end because it is something that's the need of the hour. People are wanting
Right.
to ask for help, but they don't know from where they can get the relief. So I'm so
True.
sure
True.
that talking about your love life and instilling confidence does not come easy, my dear friends. If Nishta is sitting on this seat, which is virtual reality on love experiences of her own life, I'm so sure that even not even single one soul who's watching this episode will not get affected because this is something that we share, which is very genuine, honest, and it has a certain sense of touch that you can feel the warmth, the unconditional love that flows genuinely, and the milk of
True.
human kindness has to stay alive. In today's time, in modern times, Nishtha, I have seen
Yeah.
women getting jealous of another woman. So did you feel any
Absolutely.
experience while walking on the ramp, something like that, where you felt, oh my God, there's a strong competition, but I have to take it in a healthy manner and not, rob the pleasure of walking the ramp with a feeling that, oh, I might lose. Was the feeling of loss more heavy on your mind, or was the feeling of you being Nishtha conquering the world more higher in your mindset?
Thank you for this question, Gurleen. Trust me, when this question was raised, I was all the time recalling all those people who told me that this will be impossible for you. So, how it started, I would say you are absolutely right. We at times find a lot many girls around us, a lot many known ones who might not, encourage you in positive terms. As I said, right, I get that positive vibe around you all the time. That is very rarely
True,
found. So,
true.
I had a mixture of all the people, and I had a few known ones, and also a few teammates and people that I met in these shows of mine, in these pageants. For them, I was a
Yes.
newcomer. I had no prior
Okay.
experience. I never used to talk about this. I was a girl, very simple, innocent, who loves studying, who loves writing, who loves singing. But this was completely new. And Gurleen,
Yeah.
one thing that I have realized, and I would really make sure that I never get this into my personality, into my persona, that you should never feel that you are on the top of the world. You should always
Very
understand that there might be many people who have a lot and are just not coming on the stage, but they might be full of talent, full of things. And in my journey, when these grooming sessions were going on, I was one of those people who was once told this by one of my course mates that, are you going to do something? Are you sure? And I was a very keen observer. I used to see people, I used to learn from them, I used to hear what they are talking about. And then I realized that I am out of those people who will definitely speak, who will definitely talk and walk, but I will do things that which I feel are of use and not anything I'll speak. So this is how I
true.
started, and I at times have seen many people whom have dragged me down. Small town girl, are you
True.
really going to do
Yes.
this? Can you carry these dresses? And Gurleen, it is not a big matter to carry any sort of dress, or it is
True.
just like you have to
True.
be comfortable in that. And till
True.
last year, I didn't knew that. Even I used to think that it is going to be a big task, whether I'll be able to
Yes.
walk with that dress or not. But then I remember, I see some people around me. I would like to quote names. So one of my friends, Jiganshu, she's an author. It is you, of
Wow.
course. I would again say Gurleen. These few people
Thanks
who
a
are
lot.
comfortable in everything, anything that they wear, they are,
True.
comfortable to post pictures, talk about that. And I mean, that gave me some sort of confidence that it is not going to be a big task. I can try. And I tried. And trust me, Gurleen,
True.
people who had this, mentality that it is not going to be easy for you, saw me on the day
True.
when I was walking, very comfortable in what I was wearing. And I feel that after having that firm belief in myself that I'll do it in my actions rather than words, I did it. So that is
True.
all about it.
That is wonderful, because what you're stating is directly coming from your heart and mind. What I'm trying to say to the viewers who are present while viewing this conversation is really very significant, my dear viewers. With all the love and gratitude, as a psychologist, I would love to state, when you need to be taking some step, you need to ask for assistance. But from your inner voice, if you're getting a call that that's the door that's opening to your heart and mind, my dear viewers, don't take a second thought, because somewhere you are deep down dying not to ask for help and not to take the helping hand. That is when you lose, because trials make you strong. Nishta has conquered the fears to walk the ramp and wear the 6 inches heel. I'm so sure that she has been inspired by my style, my confidence, but I am more than happy to know that she has gone way beyond and made India proud by going into the pageants and winning them. And then I'm so sure that she's going to take the final crown as well. So we need to be positive. A positive mindset affects truly. And I so remember that she also midway fell sick. But we were friends talking on the calls and trying to find out what really happened with her hand. I think it was a fracture. And I'm so sure it was
Right.
Diwali day, some day wherein you were feeling little low, and I had given a call, and I felt so happy that in times of
Thank you for
deep
that. I love you.
phase, when you can give a call to a friend, is what you actually need. So is the concept of hello conversations, because when I feel that there is a need to talk to someone, there should be someone very close to you whom you can confide in, and that is the significance of this show as well. People who are viewing this and the ones who will be liking this, I'm so sure they'll be liking because of the honest content that we are sharing on this show. I'm bringing those souls who are enriched with life experiences, and they would love to not only talk about and boast about their achievements, but beyond that, there's a skin that is saying a larger meaning that can impact the entire globe. It can make a difference, and that is the truth. So very few people wear the crown of truth, but I've seen Nishtha Srivastava walking the truth. Well, despite many of them said Raksha Bandhan is not going to do well, but she did take the task very seriously and followed her inner voice. And that is tremendous. For a woman to walk the path of confidence is terrific. So the next question which I'm going to ask you, Nishtha, is what was the difference between Nishtha before walking the ramp, one major difference, and after walking the ramp? When you came back home, what was the opinion of your parents? Because I'm very sure every parent has a different set of thoughts for a child from any kind of a family, be it the world of glamour, glitz, or Bollywood or entertainment industry. So what was the reaction of your parents, and would you like to share some of the experiences, or what were your parents' thoughts on your walking the ramp?
Yeah, sure. So, Gurleen, I would say mothers are love, of course, and fathers, to fathers, daughters are always those princes who they really want to take care of. As both of our fathers have, we share this very strong bond with them. So, one secret that I would love to tell you when I got shortlisted for Miss India, this secret was between three people. It was my mother, my brother, and me. Because we knew that if we are going to tell this to our father, probably he will not let me go because, from far away, it looks scary. And sending a daughter to a complete different city all alone is not an easy task. And I understand this feeling. But then, we girls have wings. We cannot, just sit like this and cannot fly. We want to fly. We are born to fly. So
True.
my mother was always there with me, and she was one person who was telling me all the way that I was telling her that mom, there are pros here in doing makeup. They can just transform themselves in minutes. I am going to lag down, and she was there telling me all the time that it's okay, but when you speak, you will get that difference. When you do things, you will feel that difference. I have born and brought up you. I know what all I have inculcated in you. Do your best. She was giving me that pat all the time. And when I went there, and then when I actually did my things, and I realized that, I was one person who was closed inside a box and was doing small things inside the box, but never jumped out of it to see what all can actually be done in the real world. So when I went
True.
there, when I did a lot of things, and when luckily I won two crowns, and when I came back, my father was surprised to see me in the newspaper. He asked me 10 times, "What did you do there? Did you know anything about it?" And I was like, "No, but I was very nervous to tell this to you." And Gurleen, he was one person who was looking a little angry because I didn't tell him about this. But I'll tell
Yes.
you, he was so proud of me, so proud of me. He was telling everybody that she's done wonders. And then he told me, he came to me one night and he told me that, he is little nervous because he doesn't know what it is like outside. And he just wants me to be safe at a proper place. And he told me that he has given me that opportunity and that freedom that I should utilize things properly. So he was very
True.
supportive all the time. Though, every step is not similar, as you said. Again, when I got nominated for Miss Asia, he had big questions that are you going to travel all the way to Singapore alone? This is not
God.
safe. Again, again, I'm fighting that battle. But then, I am a person who is, having a lot of patience. I always nod on everything. And then I'll softly say that, but I really want to do this. So, I'm out of those people. I never fight for anything, but I politely try to convince him. So that's how my family is taking it. And I'll tell you one more thing, Gurleen, which I have not shared
Why not?
with anybody, but I would like to talk it here in your show because I know with you, I feel that, that bond and that I can talk anything my heart out. So I have a lot of relatives who have been really
Anything. This show
supportive,
is all
but
about
I
that
have a
only,
few
Nishta.
relatives who were Yeah, right. So I have a few relatives of mine who have tremendous say about me that, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And, I feel surprised that even after a lot many things that I've achieved, they still have some story to question up. But then I feel that I have some great souls around me, like you, my friends, my dear family, who bug me up that, we don't have to listen to those negatives, need not respond them to. Just keep
True.
your faith firm and walk straight because, all these elements are to disturb you. So let's not get disturbed. Let's be focused and let's keep running.
That is wonderful. And Nishta, it is so nice to hear such words coming from you, which are so honest. Let me tell you the experience that you shared that your father never knew. I still remember that my sister, when she went to try for becoming an air hostess, my father, as a pilot, would never recommend her to become an air hostess. So when she decided to become one, I was like the one pushing her that okay, you can do it, but without letting our father know about it because we knew his answer. But to the contrary, fact that it remains is that our father already knows my daughters are doing real well and they're talented. They need to try out everything before they set their wings where they would really love to enjoy their life. So I would
Right.
rather say that I learned from my own failures rather than thinking about that I will walk on someone else's experiences and then fall. So I've always been doing that, and as an independent girl, I think now a lady, I would rather say that this has made me the woman I am. We can say that when you walk through the fire is the time when you learn what is that actually pinches you hard, and how you take the shape of a personality that is so enigmatic, that is so magnetic, that people start following your footsteps. And by that, I mean not people really walking behind you, but someone who can really get impacted by your thoughts in an honest manner and can raise a question to
Right.
you for the curiosity that the person has to live life in a very beautiful and with full of zest. That's something that is so nice. You're full of, that enigma, that exuberant soul that I'm talking to, that I feel driven down to ask you many a times again, because this is not the question of only Nishtha. It is a question of all those girls who are still not taking that step, and gentlemen who are
Right.
not supporting, including the parents who are not talking to their children that modeling is not a bad offer at all. Consider the safety of the girls and the ladies. It is something that's a privilege. If you have it in you, you should just enter into a profession by choice, by interest, and by your passion.
Right.
So apart from that, I would love to know how did you manage your job and this ramp walk and all that, because it becomes a very difficult task. But as a woman,
Right.
multitasking is something that comes so easy, Nishtha. But somewhere
Right.
there are girls and ladies who would love to know, even the housewives these days are walking the ramps. So I would love to know how can they manage their schedule in a better way. Did you prioritize your tasks, and did you not let your job suffer, and what is the next process of your being this pageant winner in the coming times, and what is it that you are practicing in your normal routine to become that finalist which you are already, but apart from that, the winner?
Yeah, sure. So, Gulleen, one thing I'll tell you, I last time also said that my father is that person who told me that do everything that you wish, but have that job with you forever. So, my
True.
father is a person who still believes in the ancient saying that we have to have our bread and butter ready, which is a stable
True.
job. So, which
True.
I
True.
agree on a note because, it is very important to have that mental peace that you are financially independent. only then,
True.
you can explore, you can experiment more with yourself. So I
Very
would
right.
say I am one of those blessed people who have really good colleagues around. All my colleagues have been really supportive. I never, take offs from my job. It's 9 to 5. I'll stick with my laptop continuously. But then what I feel is that 9 to 5 is something that is required. And before
Yes.
that and after that is my real life. So I never say that
True.
after 5, my day is done, I'm done for the day. I say that my day starts after 5. So, Gurleen,
Right.
a lot of new things have came into my life recently. I was a person
Wow,
who
we
used
would
to
love to
eat
hear
a
all the
lot.
new things. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, I was a person who used to eat a lot, but then I realized that I cannot continue that for long because I have to, manage my physique. I have to look good and it has to be there. When I walk on the ramp, I should look presentable enough. That is important. I mean, some people say that it doesn't matter, but it matters. It matters because it gives you confidence. It is not to please anybody, it is to give yourself a lot of confidence. So I go to my
True.
Zumba classes like a machine, just at 6 o'clock,
Very
very ready to do a lot of workout. And then one thing, Gurleen, as you said, managing things. So I always keep my job parallel, that is always there. But one should never forget the soul, the scratch from one started. So I would say writing is that scratch for me. And luckily,
true.
I always say that one of my very close friend, Naveen, who was the pillar of Raksha Bandhan, is a big, big push mark. Every morning he asks me, Gurleen, literally he asks me, how many words have you written today, Nishtha? What is the status? Same is for my editor Nitin. He will also ask me,
Very good.
are we still back from the deadline? So, good people are there who ensure that I have all that in my mind and I don't lose anything. Coming on to
Very
pageants,
nice.
I would say my mother is one person who keeps on asking me about like what are your costumes, are you up with that? But then as you said, right, if you will love to do modeling, it's a way of expression and you will do it from
True.
your heart. So I would say
Right.
amidst all the busy things that I have every day, whenever I get those 5 minutes, 2 minutes, Gurleen, I sit with myself and I start introducing myself the way I'm going to do it on the ramp. So that's the madness that I have in my mind. At
Yeah,
times I go to the
I
washroom
would
of
not
my work.
call it madness. I would call it the vibrant attitude to own yourself in a way where you would love to just do something good for your life, and not only for
Exactly.
your life, you feel contented, you feel driven towards it. Until and unless
Right.
somebody is so passionate about looking good and feeling good, the feel good factor, nobody can actually win hearts. Winning crowns is not
Absolutely.
important as much as winning hearts and minds. I believe
That is
when you touch
important.
through a writing or through walking the ramp or by even blowing a kiss, I would rather say, on a lighter note, it is something that it should come from your inner call, inner voice. If you are feeling comfortable doing what you are doing, is the real sense of living the very moment that is life. I'm so sure many ladies walking on the ramp are just, dead bodies, because I can see some of them so depressed, they are just doing a task.
Right.
I really feel that some people are made for it. Some models, just on their faces, we can see the screen lighting up when they are walking the ramp. But some of them, they cannot carry that because somewhere deep down they are full of grief and they cannot talk it
Right.
out. So communication
Right.
is dying, whether it's family, whether it's ramp, or whether it's any profession we talk of. When you are saying you have good colleagues, it shows in your work life and your production is there, and you see the quality of work that you are producing, and that's impacting the larger circle around you. So that is
Right.
what is life. That is what I would love to convey to my audience who's watching and the ones who'll be watching later, that you need to prioritize your schedules, and you need to know who is your friend in your friend list, whether it's phone book or Facebook or Instagram, because the people whom you are with, they will be the ones who will be either guiding you or misguiding you. So you really need to know what is your take on a particular friend. Don't judge and analyze them, but look at what you want out of life. Is it something that you can learn which is bad from them? So I would rather suggest make a new friend and feel comfortable
True.
by learning a thing or two, and not learning something that's so easily adapted. We are so easily adapted to bad things like substance abuse, going to pubs and hitting pubs frequently. This is
Correct.
something that's going to be there every stage of life. I mean, whether you're working, you can take out few hours and just go on weekends and enjoy your life. But somewhere down
Right.
the line, you will have to sit and think about your life, where you are heading. So that is really important. If you don't have a goal, it's all well said. If you don't have a goal, write it down. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Make your weaknesses your strengths, and you are in the process of finding a path. Ask for assistance from a psychologist. We are all there to serve you for higher purpose. We are no ones, we are not preaching what we have not accepted and adapted to. I am there, people like Nishtha, and there are people whom you can reach out to on Facebook, on Instagram. There's so many others who have motivated, inspired many a lot. But this show is something that's talking, which is very, very significant. That is a value of a psychologist. Besides that, value of how to communicate, when to communicate, how to be positive, and how to impact people with truth. So this show is more about frankness and more about a bold outlook, that we can talk about sex,
Absolutely.
sensuality, everything that comes to our heart and mind without thinking, without even stopping, without even hesitating. So the comfort that I
Right.
build with the people who come on the seat is something that's terrific. And that's the response I've got from the global souls across. And that's what I feel honored and privileged to talk about on this show. It's something really very deep. Only people who are sitting on the other side, it is not that easy to answer my questions, because sometimes I do play my games and I put up questions that are uncomfortable, but I make it in a way that it's comfortable and they can answer, and
True.
they feel very confident after the show. And I am sure
Yes.
that Nishtha is them, and she is going to win the crown, because I am very confident that she is that lady who is going to be again coming and talking about it after winning that crown. So Nishtha, there are many people who have said hello to you. There is Mudit Chawla saying hello. There is Gargi
Hey.
Halda saying hello, and Nishtha. There is Vikas Singh who has complimented you and said, very well said, Nishtha ma'am. Self belief and confidence is essential for success.
Thank
There
you
is
so
Yusam
much.
saying wisdom, and he's also asking, do I know Nishtha? So for that, you have to connect to Nishtha to know her, because she is Miss Asia Singapore finalist now. And apart from that, many other taglines are there with her. So you can just go and connect to her on the Facebook. To all my friends who are watching this, it's an interesting conversation, and let's keep it flowing. So Nishtha, do you
Yeah.
think that psychological freedom is a privilege or it is a disgrace to own? Because I feel that people know about physical freedom, moving from one place to another, escaping the problems and escaping the struggles in their life. But to ask a question that is so relevant is something that is very significant to being a mental health expert. Psychological freedom is what people don't know about. People can talk about Independence Day, Republic Day, but they don't know what is a psychological freedom talking about. So, can you enlighten the viewers on that concept if you would love to?
I would really love to do that. And I would like to say one statement which I personally feel is only when you are, having this psychological freedom in yourself, you start living. I would really like to say this because, Gurleen, it is very important to have this part of your body which is connected
True,
to your heart and which is connected to all your
true,
actions to be
true,
really free from within. At
true,
times we have this cage wherein we think in a limited way, we react in a limited way, in a restricted way, and we even do our actions in a very restricted way. We don't have
true,
that freedom to keep exploring ourselves, keep, experimenting on ourselves, and then we
true,
all entire life, we keep ourselves in a box, and at the end we get that frustration that I was not able to do this because I had something in my mind and I was not
true,
able to cope up with that. So,
true.
so that's where I feel that psychological freedom and people who are ready to talk about it. As I said,
True.
at this show, I feel that I can talk my heart out anything. I don't have that filters with you. So,
Yes,
it is
yeah,
very important to reach that stage, have that freedom in your mind that you have your visions clear. So, Gurleen, I
True.
really appreciate when when you talk with anybody and you ask things that people probably might not feel comfortable to share with anybody else, but they feel good to
Yes.
share it with you because that's
True.
when they release something that was heavy in them. And then they are
True.
light, absolutely
Then
light.
they're like,
So I feel this is a
true.
very important component. And I would personally suggest all the viewers watching us out here, if you have something in your mind which keeps you restricted, talk it out. It would really help.
True.
And as Gurleen said, you have great people around you to talk, so you can always utilize that.
Apart from that, Nishtha, there has been many a times questions asked about, is jealousy a good thing to own? Is healthy competition a great factor in leading to greater production in the work sphere as in a personal sphere also? So I would love to ask you, do you believe that having a little jealousy is healthy, or being envious to a larger extent is distracting you from achieving your goal? This is something which I have never asked anybody, but I would love to ask you because when I'm sure when you're going to go higher in the scale of winning this crown, you would feel it somewhere or the other way. And I feel that I also feel a little jealous sometimes, but that's a healthy feeling which I own. So are you owning the same kind of jealousy as stated by me? Something different, because that's something that's so natural to discuss. It comes with every
Absolutely.
other feeling, and it's an emotion that we all have. It's something that is an expression that we all own, but few of the people who have the courage to express it out, they take it out in their words and it becomes a sentence, and that's how we communicate. So I would love to know from you, owning jealousy to a level is healthy or is it unhealthy?
I would say, Gurleen, as you said, it happens with all of us. I would say it is very important to have a pinch of it in a healthy way. So, why I say a
True.
pinch of it in a healthy way is because, if you don't want to get stagnant towards what you are, and if you want to keep on growing, gathering and inculcating a lot more things in you which might not be there, because none of us is just super fabulous and fully complete. We all have
True.
some glitches, some flaws in us. And when we see
True.
people around who are probably doing something which we might not, think of, or we are in that comfy zone that we are not getting
Yeah.
stepping out of our comfy zones and doing it, then I feel that we
True.
should have this factor with us. It is very
True.
important to have this factor, because only when we have this factor, we can dare to, it comes from within, that if somebody can do it, why cannot I should at least give a try. So I would say it is
True.
very important to have a pinch of jealous in you. The only thing
True.
is it should be in a healthy way. It should not harm anybody else. It should be
True.
good for you, as well as you should always keep on motivating people who do great. So that's what I
True.
feel about jealousy.
True. I would love to ask you one fun question. What is that one adventure that you have done in your life that makes you so exuberant, vibrant? Or I would rather say you would love to share on this deep talks that one adventure in your life that you might have not thought that you would do it, but you've done it. Like this, I'm sure that walking the ramp is one adventure in itself. But in life, there would be other adventures that you must have had an experience of, whether it was your first flight or something like that. So I would love to ask you, because I am well versed with who Nishtha is. She's a bundle of joy for me. So I would love to know what that one adventure that makes you happening.
Right. Thank you so much, Gurleen. Love you for this question. I would really like to share it with you. One adventure, which is probably beyond imagination, which my family, my friends had never thought about. And I would like to tell you that, when I did this, I did it for a very different reason. I hope you know that I'm a little spiritual. I'm a lot of spiritual. I have that connect in me, and I was in my first year of college days. As I said, I was that simple person who did a lot of things in college also, but I was not that person who would come on the ramp, do some shusha. I was just a small person sitting in one corner doing things. But then when I used to see my batchmates, they used to go for travels, they used to go for campaigning, I used to think, what is the peace in it? I mean, I wanted to find out something which gives me some adventure, and that was the starting of my solo travel. Gurleen, you
Wow.
won't believe, But what I did was I travel. I am a big, big devotee of Lord Krishna. I traveled
Great.
all the way from Rajasthan University to Mathura. I went to
Wow.
Govardhan, and what I did was I did 21 kilometers of parikrama on my feet one night alone, all alone
Fantastic.
with no idea
Wow.
where to go. And why I did this was because I wanted to pull that fear out of me that a girl, alone girl, a young alone girl cannot roam around a city in the midnight hours. I chose a place
Wonderful.
which was absolutely safe because it
Safe.
is a spiritual place, so it was safe. Other thing, I wanted to do it alone because I wanted to have that solo travel wala start in my life
Love.
from where I did it. And Gurleen, as you said, from where I started and how it is today, so you won't believe it
Today.
has been 8 years now. Every year I go to Vrindavan, I do that Govardhan Valley Parikrama, 21 kilometers solo. That is something that
Fantastic.
has really given me a lot of energy.
That is something so amazing that you have shared, that sparks a thought that small experiences in life can teach a lot. You chose
Right.
parikarma as a means to think that you are free from your mindset and you can travel. So that's how you've had the
Right.
wings to achieve this crown. And I'm so sure that the ones who are watching us, they can also get inspired by small, small things. Some souls get inspired by watching the birds fly in the sky, like an eagle. Some get inspired by an owl because it's supposed to be full of knowledge. That's what is the symbol of an owl. I'm so sure
Right.
people get inspired by colors, people get inspired by music, the taste of music or the taste of dance. So there are people who get inspired by small, small little things. All you have to do
Right.
is, my viewers, watch the beauty in everything that you have within
Absolutely.
your premises, in your rims, because somewhere you are walking and chasing something that is not you. You don't need to chase
Right.
things. You need to sit back and look into what you're already having and possessing in your life, be it
True.
family, be it the friends, or be it the objects that you own. And you have to segregate those concepts in your mind and in compartments of your mind, that what are you looking for? Is it giving you contentment? Because that is going to come when you feel that you are satisfied doing it, and that interest has to carry on with efforts which have to be put in daily, my dear friends. It is not that we can run on the same energy level every single day. There will be ups and downs in life. You will
Right.
face your lows and highs, but you need to strike a balance. And if you are able to achieve that balance, is the time that you will own the privilege of calling your lifestyle as something that can teach or impart values to not only yourself but to others around you. And I
Right.
hope holding this on this show is something that's a privilege for me, because I am having psychological freedom. So the question remains, are you having it? If you are not having it, you need to own this because it's a
Very
privilege.
good.
I have
Right.
written a quote that I stated, that is, psychological freedom is a privilege. You have to own it. Like respect is earned. You have to own the psychological freedom, which is very important, because that is how you will mark the confidence in your life to know who you are as a person. Apart from
Right.
that, not only copying and imitating brings you success, it is a failure. Failure in not knowing your own strengths and weaknesses, my dear friends. Stop believing in idol worship. Start achieving small, small milestones in your life, because that is where you would achieve more contentment from. Because these days,
Right.
Nishtha, I've seen people following gurus, but they are not, contented within themselves. They want to learn from a guru, but they don't know. They are just chasing. So if chasing brings
Right.
success to anybody, I would crown that person, because chasing love, chasing experiences of others, or chasing something
No.
will never, never make that happen. Something that you
Absolutely.
really need to own is, you need to own a real friend. You need to own something that is knowledge. If you have knowledge, you have everything. It's an
Everything.
ocean, my dear friends. It's an ocean. Knowledge is an ocean. You can learn from everyone. I can learn from Nishtha. Nishtha can learn from me. Anyone can learn from anyone. Age is not a barrier. Neither is
Right.
culture and neither is background. So on this show, I would love to state this show is for everybody. And I feel that Nishtha has talked something that is so significant. Apart from that, I would love to know, Nishtha, can you give us some tips or to the viewers how to be more confident and how to be a good writer? Because you are a
Yeah.
good author, and how to hit the success in becoming a great author. It will be an honor for those who are writing in the journey, and how that has helped you psychologically as well. We would love to know, because we talked about Raksha Bandhan, but how
Right.
did Raksha Bandhan had those reviews which you can share with us, and how people felt after reading it, and what are the amazing benefits that you felt after writing and getting those reviews is something that Nishtha would love to talk about, and we would love to hear about from you.
Sure, thank you for this, Gurleen. So, I would like to state one thing that I have really learned throughout my journey of Raksha Bandhan. As I said, and as you know it very well, it is not a love story. It is on a very offbeat topic. People rarely converse. So, one thing that I realized while writing my book, there were many people, many authors, many publishers who told me that the trend is love stories. You're writing something that is not in trend. The book's
True,
name is Raksha Bandhan. Who will read it? One thing that
true,
was very firm in my mind was my story. And there was one thing that I knew, and I would like to suggest it to everybody watching us out here. There is no trend that is static. We are the
true,
trend makers. We
true.
and everybody, every audience, every person who exists on this world has this tendency on keep on changing their mindset, keep on changing their vision towards trend. So today, something that is in trend might not be in trend tomorrow. This is how,
Tomorrow.
the theory of change. So never
True.
think whether something that you are going to write is going to be in trend or not. If you know that you're going to write something which is very true, comes from your heart, and is actually going to make a change in the society, write it down.
True.
Don't worry whether it is going to be a bestseller or not, people are going to love it or not. If your story is something that is going to touch hearts, it'll automatically become the trend. And now after writing Raksha Bandhan, Gulin, in the middle way when I was writing it, I used to think that probably next one has to be something different and not on social relationships. I will say, after reading the reviews, after meeting so many good people who appreciated what I wrote, I am ready to write the next one also on social relationships. I have
Wow,
taken that
that
oath.
is fantastic. So that we are all waiting for it, Nishtha, because I'm so sure that you are full of life, and that spirit is evident on this show. Because whenever I host someone, it is very, very evident for me also. When people come on my show, I have to make them feel so comfortable, and they have to also make me feel comfortable to host them. So that is something so nice that when I sit on my chair and I open the my phone to just view the people who is going to come on the seat and talk about something that is so personal. It gives me a privilege. As I own that privilege, I feel honored to even ask a question, because what a better way if it is a smile that you are carrying, because that is the best dress anybody can wear even in their low phases. It is so difficult to please people say, I would say that making someone happy is so difficult these days. In modern times, to just make someone happy, it takes a lot of effort. People ask me, what
Right.
do psychologists do? They only listen or they only talk. That's not the reality, my dear viewers. There is something
Mm.
more to it. Whatever they say is taken literally. With each word that we speak is something that's impacting their mindset, and they take it like that. So if we start
True.
saying I love you often, there will be many people feeling in love. So I don't want that my I love you should go freely on air, but that means and holds significance as a psychologist when I say I love you. So on the show, when I say this to the ones who are coming, it really means, and the viewers who are watching, they have that support of mine, and they will always have the privilege to call me and contact me. Besides that, we are conversing with Miss Asia Singapore finalist Nistha Srivastava, who's already won the crowns and is walking the ramp once again very soon. And I'm so sure the support of Deep Talks, the team of Deep Talks, and the viewers who are there have always extended their best wishes to you, Nishtha. This is something that's so terrific because Deep Talks talks about virtual reality on love and relations. So we would love to know from you, when are you going to get married? Is it in the pipeline next 2 years or 3 years? Are you searching for a groom for yourself, or we are supposed to search a groom for for you?
So, Gurleen, to be true, every morning when I get up, my grandmother is having the same question. Are you going to do something or I should do something? So that is one thing I hear every morning. And I would say that I still have that feel that there are a lot many things I want to do before I land up with somebody. So I am still not very sure when I'm going to land up. It might be 5 years later, 2 years later, this
True,
year, anytime. It is unpredictable. But still, I
true.
would say there's one wish that I have in my heart very strong. Whenever I
Yeah,
land up, I want to land up with somebody who has the same feelings, the same lively about life and is not stagnant.
yeah,
So one
yeah.
has to be very lively because, Gurleen, people like you and me who really live life at the best way will never wish to get stagnant, to get stopped,
Stagnant.
and to halt at
True,
any time. So I
true.
really wish to find somebody who is ready to fly with me the way I want to fly. So let's see when I meet him and when again I'm going to introduce him to you.
That is going to be fantastic. Holding Nishtha with her husband would be something that will be so good, and there really would be deep talks which we can talk and share, and
Right,
significant to the ones who will be watching as couples, because I believe everybody should have a companion. So, in the coming
right.
times from deep talks, I would rather wish you that you have that psychological freedom as a privilege, even when you are married, and you have those wings to
Thanks.
fly across the globe
Really need
and
it.
say from every corner wherever you can fly to, not only to others but to Gurleen, because I'm so sure that we are friends for life, and we are creating memories on this
Absolutely.
show. So with this, I would love to ask you before we end this conversation, which I never want to end because it is something
Me
that
too.
yeah, so it's something interesting, and I don't want to keep it prolonged enough so that our viewers feel tired. And I'm so sure that there are some people who feel that this Dip Talks is a repetitive mode going on. No, my dear viewers, every episode is unique and special. You need to
Right.
just go through the talks that we are having because we know what we are speaking and it is making sense, and that will impact not only one but many souls. We are impacting a larger audience. So if you really love our episodes, you need to just like, share, and comment. And not only that, you need to follow Miss Gurleen Khokhar as a host who's coming and taking out her precious time from her daily routine to just host the show and make everybody feel alive and vibrant. So when I
Right.
have thought about something to start off with you, Nishtha, because you are a very dear friend to me, there is a deep tip I am sharing on this show before I ask the last question. So, the deep tip
Yeah.
is start conversing to express. And a polite communication makes more sense, my dear viewers. When you want to
Right.
express something to someone, try in a very subtle and a polite manner. That is something that I've learned from the experiences of my life, and I'm sharing it here. Being aggressive in your tone will never, never, never land you up in good stead. So always follow this tip which I'm sharing, because from today onwards, you'll always get every episode a deep tip that can affect you and relieve you of the pain that you might be having and you cannot talk about it. So I will be sharing this from my end, and I'm sure you will be having suggestions for my show as well. So you can drop an email to me on gurleenkhokhar@gmail.com. And also, my dear viewers who are watching us and the ones who will be watching us later, please reach out for counseling services. I have a window. I will talk to you for a brighter tomorrow, for a healthy life. In case if you really would love to get connected to Nishtha, you know how to connect to her. You can drop a message to me. I can get connected to her and ask her and get you connected to her. That is the right medium to connect. So that is making us end up with the last question to Nishtha. So, Nishtha, what is that one message that you would love to give the viewers and to the host of the show so that we feel honored once again to host you, because I'm so sure that you're going to win the crown? and come back with the crown. And I would love to ask you, what defines success according to you, and how would you define an achievement and still feel grounded on this journey of life? Do you really feel that when you are owning the success, you forget being grounded in the modern times with the privilege of owning the materialistic pleasures that you are having when you wear that crown? And what is the vision after wearing that crown that you would like to share with us if that happens?
Okay, Gurleen. So nice things to talk about. I really would love to answer all these. So first of all, as you said, what is success to me? So I would say that success to me is a very different definition. It is that can never be defined. So I would say that I would not feel successful ever. Every day with everything, I
True,
would have a next milestone to achieve on. So in that
true.
way, the thing comes that I will never feel successful, that I've done everything in my life, and so I'll always be grounded. This is one thing. Coming on to the next thing, a message, as you said. So, Gurleen, there's one thing that I have kept on hearing since ever. But, after knowing you, I have changed that philosophy a little. I would really like to share it with the viewers. So,
Why
it is
not?
said that never forget somebody who has held your hands in bad times. But I would say
True.
there are very few people you might earn in your life, you might meet in your life, who will hold your hand both in hard times and in bright times. If you have somebody of that sort, really have earned something. Don't miss them anytime. So Gurleen is out of those rarest people who has been there with me in my bad times. I really remember that bad time, and in my
Yes.
very good times. So she has been there throughout, and Gurleen is not that person whom you have to knock to tell that I am in a bad situation. She is one of those rarest people who will make sure that if you are in a bad situation, she'll talk to you. So she is not just a friend at good times, but a friend at bad times also. So, Gurleen, I was really waiting for this conversation, and I would say if you and I talk, it can be never ending. But
True,
then, too,
true.
it was lovely talking to you, and I really wish that I come up with all those beautiful wishes that you've given me, and I would really
I'm
give
so
my
sure.
best to win the crown for India.
I'm so sure that Indians all across would be so happy to see you winning that crown. I can always feel that invisible crown already there on your head. And I would be so very
Thank
happy,
you.
delighted that when you would be wearing that crown, because next time when you have that crown, it would be, I would be hosting and your crown would be there. That would be something that would be fantastic. Even we should be prepared for the worst. Even if you don't win the crown, you know that you are the princess of your own life and you can with one failure achieve even more success, because that is what Lord has made us for. We need to go through the
Right.
struggles, and we need to go through the struggles. There is a difference, my dear viewers. We need to go through the struggles and we need to grow through the struggles, and that is something that's really significant. On this note, please stay tuned to Deep Talks, the Facebook page, Hello Conversations. The deep tips, start conversing to express polite communication makes more sense, my dear friends. Psychological freedom is a privilege, own it. And this was something that was so very fantastic. Gurleen in conversation with Miss Asia Singapore finalist Nistha Srivastava with us. We were honored to have her. The introduction was by Srishti, and we would love to even mention a thank you to Srishti for hosting this show from Shimla, because that is her hometown and she has taken out a precious time for deep talks. And I am honored to connect to many young girls and boys who are letting me know how to make this deep talks even more special. So thanks a lot. Good night, dear friends. That was lovely to have you. Hope you like it. Share it with
Thanks.
others and let that how you felt while you watched this episode, because I'm so sure that you would love it. Bye bye, Nishta.
Bye. Take care, everybody. Good night.